Hello good people, welcome to InspectBits, episode 7. Gary Gentry here with Quality Residential Inspections in Raleigh, North Carolina, your Raleigh home inspection firm. When you've scheduled a home inspection for a home that you're considering purchasing and are getting ready to pay your hard-earned money for a professional inspection, it's really important that you get your money's worth. Oftentimes, we find that areas or components of the home being inspected aren't able to be observed because of what I refer to as clutter. Insofar as an inspector is concerned, if an area isn't visible and accessible, then it's something that isn't going to be evaluated or reported on. We find garages crammed full from the floor to the ceiling with stored items. We find the same inside closets and cabinets. And did you know that built-in dishwashers are sometimes used for storage? And fireplaces too. Who would think it? According to the standards of practice of both the North Carolina Home Inspector Licensure Board and the American Society of Home Inspectors, ASHI, inspectors are not required to report on any component or system that was not inspected. And inspect is defined as the act of making a visual assessment or examination. And further, inspectors aren't required to move or disturb any personal belongings that might be in the home. That includes furniture, rugs, things that might be hanging on windows, stored items, or anything else for that matter. Basically, the wise and prudent inspector shouldn't touch the homeowner's property to every extent possible. Because if the inspector breaks something, you can be assured that in an instant, that economy table purchased at Walmart last year suddenly came over on the Mayflower. It's funny how that happens. Don't ask me how I know firsthand about that most curious phenomenon. If an inspector can't see it, whatever it might be, then he or she can't inspect it. The inspector would make a notation in the report as to what couldn't be observed and why. You don't want a statement such as, "A large volume of stored personal items in the garage prevents access and visual assessment of the majority of floor and wall areas. Those areas are unable to be evaluated in your home inspection report." That kind of statement covers the inspector, but it doesn't do much for the client insofar as getting a complete, thorough inspection for their money. So what can be done about it? Sometimes not too much. It's not reasonable to ask people to move out of their house before they've sold it. It's anticipated by home inspectors and should be expected by all involved parties that there will be some inaccessible areas in an occupied home. But what can be done is for you to be diligent during your pre-inspection visits to the property. Be on the lookout for areas of excessive clutter, such as garages, storage rooms, attic spaces, cabinet spaces under plumbing fixtures that will impede or prevent complete access and diminish the value of the home inspection. Make sure that the home inspector will have access to all areas where there is plumbing installed, and to all electrical panels, and to all the attic spaces. Your real estate agent can convey your concerns to the seller and ask that some things be removed or moved prior to the inspection. Or a contingency could be provided to have the seller make payment to the home inspector for a return visit prior to closing to assess those previously inaccessible areas. Well, we hope you found this episode of InspectBits interesting. Leave us a comment, rate our videos, or drop us a line and let us know what you think. Or if there's a particular topic that you might be interested in hearing about, then let us know about that too. Check back with us soon for our next episode of InspectBits. We're not too sure what that's going to be about yet, but we'll think of something. Thank you very much for your time. Make it a great one no matter what it might be, and remember, when it comes to houses, you just never know.